Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam deliver consolation cash to flood victims in Quang Ninh Province. We meet a local artist in Shishmaref, Alaska, who makes a living by carving figures. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In Vietnam, local Tzu Chi volunteers recently traveled to Quang Ninh Province to hand out consolation cash to those affected by the worst flooding the country has experienced in 40 years. And thanks to Tzu Chi's assistance, many have regained the strength to rebuild their lives. At the end of July, Quang Ninh Province of Vietnam was struck by the country's worst flooding in 40 years. After talks with the local government, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to hand out consolation cash to affected residents. Although more than a month has passed since the disaster, the watermark left by the floods can still be seen everywhere. Upon arriving at the distribution venue, volunteers discovered that the floods have destroyed the school's gates.
The
worst floods to hit Vietnam in 40 years left this area severely damaged. Since the Tzu Chi Foundation has already signed an MOU with the Vietnamese government, we hope to work together to help disaster survivors rebuild their lives.
More than 539 disaster survivors have arrived to receive Tzu Chi's consolation cash. The event was also joined by local government officials.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for coming here and distributing this consolation cash to us. I am truly grateful and want to thank all Taiwanese people for their assistance.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for giving us this aid. All of us have suffered serious losses from the disaster, so the consolation cash is something we really needed desperately.
Providing timely assistance to the needy is something that Tzu Chi and the Vietnamese government strives for. At the end of the distribution, the Tzu Chi volunteers are all smiles because they know they have once again accomplished their goal of alleviating suffering. Back in July, Tzu Chi volunteers at the Brazil Liaison Office held a free clinic for the local Chinese population, local volunteers and their family members as a way to celebrate their 23rd birthday. Among the services offered was ophthalmology, which was helpful for patients with vision problems. As prescription glasses were not available on site that day, volunteers recently invited patients back to the Liaison Office to receive their free glasses. Here's more.
你要天天戴着它，3-4个礼拜以后，你会就适应了。
Here in Brazil, a Tzu Chi volunteer reminds prescription glasses recipients to value this gift.
I have worn this pair of glasses for 8 years now. I take very good care of it. As long as the pair of glasses is properly taken care of, it can last a long time. Although today the glasses you received are free, please take care to treasure and use them carefully.
To celebrate 23 years since the establishment of Tzu Chi Brazil Liaison Office, volunteers held a free clinic in July at the Liaison Office. And now 2 weeks later, volunteers invited back the patients in need of glasses to receive free prescription glasses.
I really don't have the means to purchase prescription glasses, but I'm in need of them. I'm very grateful that Tzu Chi has helped me.
For the poor in Sao Paulo, a pair of prescription glasses can cost up to half a month's salary. With Tzu Chi's help in hand, these recipients know that paying the love forward is the best way to reciprocate such assistance.
Even listening to 5 minutes of a message of kindness is helpful to those who hear it.
Love is missing in society right now. We should express our love to those whom we encounter each day. Really, this expression of love is easier said than done. A way to help perhaps would be to take action each day to give a little of our love, like the Tzu Chi volunteers do, like how they help us.
For these recipients, what was once a blurry world is now clear as day thanks to the love of the Tzu Chi volunteers.
Since the beginning of the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide have been advocating the true meaning behind the lunar month of July. To mark the auspiciousness at the occasion, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital organized a music concert while volunteers in Pingtung encouraged people to go meatless. But let's first join volunteers in Malaysia who held a 3-day Earth Treasury Sutra Dharma Assembly to pray for all sentient beings.
Sitting in a wheelchair, Gao Meiqing comes to join the Earth Treasury Sutra Dharma Assembly.
好，因为地球需要清净，人的心也需要沉淀，需要清净。
At the Tzu Chi Malacca chapter, a total of 1,136 people joined the Dharma Masters at the Jingsi abode in Hualien, Taiwan, via video conference for the 3-day Earth Treasury Sutra Dharma Assembly.
Chanting the sutra calms our minds, so we can think about the teachings of the Earth Treasury Sutra and become more conscientious.
去了解，地藏经讲的是什么，让自己也能够警惕咯。
因为地藏经讲的念佛。
Chanting the Buddha's name in the sutra benefits us. As we learn about the sutra teachings, we will no longer harm animals, but follow the teachings instead.
依经典来做。
The Earth Treasury Sutra is also known as the Sutra of the Great Filial Piety. Therefore, one assembly attendee decided to dedicate the merit of chanting the sutra to her deceased mother.
My mother passed away in January, so I want to learn the sutra and also dedicate the merit of the sutra chanting to my mother.
Tzu Chi volunteers also seized the occasion to promote vegetarianism.
We seize this opportunity since we have not observed a vegetarian diet for a long time.
We can stop killing and feel peace of mind.
Dispelling the superstitions associated with the 7th lunar month, these attendees have learned that as long as one does good deeds, every day is an auspicious day. People came to enjoy a variety of vegetarian food at a gathering hosted by Tzu Chi volunteers in Pingdong.
We used Jingsi products, including instant rice and multi-grain drink mix powder, and let the Tzu Chi sisters get creative with the food.
We encourage people to adapt a vegetarian diet, which helps to combat global warming.
Entrepreneur Zhang Jingcai from Tainan has invited Tzu Chi volunteers to promote the true meaning behind the 7th lunar month at his company. This year, the gathering was held at Tzu Chi's Jiali Liaison Office.
Many friends and colleagues support the idea of adopting a vegetarian diet and not burning just paper.
Adopting a vegetarian diet is good for our health and it needs to be promoted. I'm glad to do so.
In addition to praying for the prosperity of all people during the 7th lunar month, observing a vegetarian diet and not burning just paper are some of the ways to show one's respect for all living beings.
It takes time to form good affinities between us and the people we meet. We all have gathered here because of our affinities.
Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital held a musical concert to mark the auspiciousness of the lunar month of July, as well as to celebrate the 10th anniversary of both Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital and the establishment of the young volunteers of the Jingsi Books and Cafe.
I think observing a vegetarian diet is a good idea. Vegetarian food is more tasty than meat and good for our health.
The Tzu Chi choir also celebrated the occasion with song.
Do not assume that bad things will happen in this month. Think of it as a peaceful month.
Encouraging people to go meatless and cherishing our planet Earth, Tzu Chi volunteers have again advocated the idea that every day can be a good day as long as we embrace correct beliefs.
On August 26th, the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter will be holding a volunteer training seminar at the Jingsi Hall in Penang to welcome Dharma masters from the Jingsi abode and their Dharma families from Taiwan. Staff members at the local Tzu Chi chapter gathered together to give the venue a thorough cleaning. At the Jingsi Hall in Penang, staff members of the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter tried their best to polish up the fences. Despite their laborious and time-consuming duties, everyone is still all smiles.
好辛苦啦！师父要来吗？这是我们的家。我们的家。
For many volunteers, including Luo Guohua, the Jingsi Hole is their spiritual home. Last year, Luo fell into despair after he lost 3 of his family members in a plane crash. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into his life and helped him rediscover the warmth of family.
It is great that I have something to do, or else I would probably be sleeping at home.
To create a welcoming atmosphere for the Dharma masters from Taiwan and those attending the upcoming volunteer training seminar, staff members worked around the clock to ensure the venue was spotless inside and out. Besides tending to the windows, tables, and chairs, staff also made sure no dust was left on the pillars.
The purpose of the cleanup is to prepare for the training seminar. I want to thank everyone for their efforts.
感恩。
After a long and tiring school week on Friday evening, most college students prefer to let loose and relax in the comfort of their own homes. However, in Taipei, Taiwan, a group at Tzu Chi made up of Tzu Chi Club members from 7 universities choose to give up 2 Fridays each month to tutor underprivileged children. Next, let's take a look at how 2 students of National Taiwan University of Science and Technology fare on their first attempt.
待会啊，你们会辅导2个小朋友。那在辅导的时候呢，就是尽量用多一点正面的鼓励的话，不要去问他们家庭的状况，就是可能他可能是担心或者是什么，所以就先不要触及这一块。
People usually spend their Friday evenings relaxing after a long week, but I thought it would be nice to spend some time with these kids as a way to give back to society.
I enjoy spending time with kids, and it makes me very happy that I'm able to do something so meaningful. Our tutors are made up of Tzu Chis from 7 universities across Taipei. The role of a Tzu Chi is to uphold the master's ideals, to walk into the crowd and work to serve the common good.
Hello， 好啦，你今天怎么心情那么好？不是这个旧衣服啊，你拿了就拍不了了。对啊，拿了他就不拍你了哎。我知道这个是什么用的，跟玩具的对讲机一样。玩具的对讲机它要怎么用？就是那个怎么可以在远的地方连接？比如说我迷路了，就可以用这个来连接。他有着天使。
He has the face of an angel, but he is actually very naughty.
的那个吧，调皮的心情。我跟你讲哦，他们的炸弹长这样，这是 TNT 哎，还有毁灭地球TNT。
He draws whatever comes to mind. I have never seen a kid who enjoys drawing as much as he does.
不是，你要点火才会。除非你点火这个是马上砍掉才不会这样。
What they need most are people to care and look out for them.
The challenge for the Tzu Chis is that they have to look after the kids they are tutoring. As they care for them, they will also come to understand their needs.
哥哥好可爱。
那可爱的哥哥长什么样呢？你要不要画给我看？
鼻子不用画。
鼻子不用画，为什么？
你画给我看。大大的样子，大头，小小的身材。
头发呢？头发。2根而已啊，这样2根而已啊。
只有2根头发。
这样2根哦。
那男的也绑头发哦。
这样吧，因为我其实。
I'm not that good at drawing, but luckily another classmate helped me. She is really good. I wonder if I was also like them when I was a child, but it's in a child's nature to be outgoing, so I don't get mad at them. By coming here, I have to ask myself, what can I give to these children to take away? It's something I have to think about.
还敢再尝试吗？
Most definitely, this is a way for us to train our patience and also to learn how to interact with smaller children.
Continuing our series report of the disappearing frontier, we meet a local artist in Shishmaref, Alaska, who keeps the old way of life and carves figures for a living. And his specialty is whale carving. It is a craft that he hopes to pass on to his children. In a community with no residents hunt to make a living, and this way of making ends meet is quite unique in those parts.
I did them myself a long time ago.
Native pride.
Yeah, native pride. Did that one. There's AJ, Jack Andrew, my great-grandfather, and my forefathers on there, all of them, close to my heart. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have never been doing this.
On the frozen streets of Shishmaref, we came across Andy. Aside from those who hunt, he's among those who earn their living by carving.
People up north that did a lot of whaling, when I was doing carvings, they tell me how come I put the spine on the back of the whale. If you want a real buoyed whale, you make it round, because the bigger whales had a round back on it. And so I started doing that. I got an order for mucklucks, like a big order for them actually, and there's always buyers. And if I can't sell them here, I can make a phone call to Nome and put them on the plane. They'll ship the money on the plane back right to me, because they know all I do is live off carvings. If you bought these today for $40, I just have to come up with $10 more, and my cable bill is $50. So, like I said, I live just day by day, whatever I carve, and that's whatever my kids want. My kids are a lot of work, man. I got a 5, 3, and a 1-year-old, one more on the way. This whole area right here would just be thrashed with toys, but I still sit right here and carve. They'll come over here and ask what I'm doing, what I'm carving. The best way to learn is just watch. This right here, my 5-year-old, he try sand this ivory, and he'd draw in there and say it was a man with a hat. They wanted to go to school and graduate, become something else besides carving, but I want them to have it in their blood. Because if they get fired from work, they need to pay rent. They have the resources right in front of them. I got another pair of earrings done. Carving, Scrabble, chess, pinochle are the best things ever made, I think. I kid you not.
As a direct result of climate changes, the shrinking coastline caused by the thawing of permafrost and acceleration of erosion has put Alaska Shishmaref in a precarious situation, as the land in which the community sits on could only hold out for so long before the land disappears. Relocation is a solution that the government has chosen. However, where would the massive funds to relocate the citizens come from? And all citizens of the community in agreement to relocate? We find out more in our final installment of The Disappearing Frontier.
Shishmaref has to make some decisions. Will they relocate, or will they stay where they're at and sort of what we call stand and defend?
That's totally affected the community in the past. Just the word relocation.
Shishmaref received a revetment, and the revetment was designed to allow them to have some time to keep their community safe while they went forward in relocation.
The organizations that are not from here misunderstood that we'd be moving it 1 or 2 years back then, and we're still here.
Worst case is having to pull up your historic settlement and move to a new site for a new town and create the whole infrastructure that's required for a modern village, from power to water to sewer to education to housing. And that can be extremely expensive, and we don't really know where that money's going to come from.
Shishmaref residents are deeply aware of these challenges, and many have become skeptical of help from the outside.
The champions on the government side that worked for us in years past, they're gone.
The late Senator Ted Stevens, he helped out most of the communities with all kinds of projects, seawalls, clinics, whatever was most important for each community.
Tell you what, he was in Shishmaref probably 6 or 8 times a year. The thought is now more, hey, wait a minute, there's no one out there that's willing to help us in this situation.
Governments are desperately trying to protect their citizens. They are trying to raise awareness of the consequences of us failing to mitigate our greenhouse gas emissions. My name is Robin Bronin. I have been doing research since 2007 on the community relocations happening in Alaska. Relocation is always the last resort. The challenge is with sea level rise and with our technology, we don't know how long people will be able to be protected in place. And now government agencies are doing their best, but it's taking an extraordinarily long time because there's no relocation institutional framework. No government agency has the mandate, right, to relocate them.
If relocating just one community is so complicated, what then is the fate of so many other coastal cities around the globe?
Alaska is the harbinger of what's coming to the rest of the world because of climate change, because of accelerating rates of erosion, because of sea level rise, permafrost thawing, right, and decreased Arctic sea ice. Those issues are going to manifest in other coastal communities, in particular around the world.
And by the time proper funding kicks in and entities are set up to oversee relocations, places like this may just have to grin and bear.
As you know now, we're still here and the studies are still ongoing. The last phase of these studies, well, the people who are doing the studies are coming here next week.
We can't tell you what will happen to Shishmaref, but the Inupiaqs have shown us that even under the greatest challenges, they'll persevere, no matter what.
I told them that I'm not going to leave from here, I'll be here. Even when they talk about relocation on the village, I would tell them, I'm not moving out of here.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of the show, where Tzu Chi volunteers help care recipient Zhu Wu fix her dilapidated home. Upon completion of the construction, the volunteers also prepare a housewarming party on behalf of Zhu Wu to celebrate the occasion. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.